Welcome to the fourth part of this AI-only series for Medieval 2 Total War on the vanilla map, and the crusade for Antioch continues. The Mongols have pushed back a few crusading armies. This is not good for the Mongols. The Mongols' main strength is that they come in with a lot of units, but the Crusaders immediately go after them, and they're not using their troops to actually fight the Egyptians and the Turks. They're using them to fight the crusading armies. It's kind of like a crusading army has been called to wipe out the Mongols before they get too powerful. And that's what's kind of working. And look at it, that merchant there, he was clapping at that idea. You saw him cheering. Yeah, I kind of like that. Of course that's not intentional, but that's what it's doing right now. It's a crusade to weaken the Mongols before they get too powerful. And also the Russians and the Turks have gone to war, and I think, yeah, the Russians are probably going to take Sarkel from them here. Milan, in a very unexpected push, has taken Tunis, but it looks like Venice is interested as well. Where is Milan? Here they are. Oh, they've got a lot of enemies. So they had a lot of allies, it's now a lot of enemies. Can't remember who they took that from. I'm guessing it went rebel, and then Milan stepped in and took it. That's what I'm guessing happened. Seems like Venice is interested in Sardinia, which belongs to the Papal States. Ooh. That could get him excommunicated. It looks so bright and colourful over here. You've got some reds, some greens, some blues, some whatever colour Hungary is. Yeah, very colourful. I like it.
Discovery that could change the course of
gunpowder. It's going to be interesting to see how that's going to change the world. And it seems like we have the second successful crusading army, the Hungarians. Now, here's the interesting thing. All these armies, they've got nothing to do now. Are they going to push and weaken the Mongols, even if they don't take any settlements? But if they can just destroy a few armies, weaken them, then that could be it for the Mongols. Unlucky timing for them there. Successful crusade, and you know, some factions have signed peace already, but you know, Hungary, they're probably wanting to expand over here. Are they going to go from the Mongols or the Egyptians? Right now, after they've been battered by the crusading armies a bit, it looks like the Mongols are probably the easier option, although they are still planning on expanding themselves. The Mongols are not happy with their loss, and they're making another push for Antioch. Meanwhile, they've successfully taken Damascus. Egypt, they've given up on the Mongols now, they're terrified. They're coming down here and they have reclaimed Cairo from the Venetians. They're just like fighting away from the Mongols right now. A bit like the fall of the Roman Empire in a way. All these Egyptian hordes, they're so scared of the Mongols, they're just coming to Rome and yeah, create a new homeland. We're going to see a very big shift in the balance of power in the Middle East and Egypt right now. Meanwhile, Milan still continues to push on Portugal. They've taken Angers, and they're probably going to eventually take Bordeaux as well. Milan are encircling their vassal, the French. Maybe they're going to take this land for themselves later on, or maybe they're just trying to defend their vassal, I don't know, but if they take Bordeaux, then they've completely encircled the French, apart from the sea. The Hungarians, after losing Antioch, decided to concentrate their efforts on the Turks, and the two factions now are at war. Will the Hungarians, with all of these very large armies, they've got a lot of troops here, will they be able to take Turkey from the Turks? Or will the Mongols take it first? Yeah, they don't have to be fighting over this land. Even the Russians are trying to get in here as well. They've got a few armies coming down. Also, Spain took Pamplona here, and I saw something about a vassal kingdom rising. So yeah, Spain has now vassalized Portugal. Yeah, that's not good for Portugal, or maybe it is. Actually, yeah, that's good for Portugal. That's what's keeping them alive right now. If it wasn't for that vassalage, they'll be gone. You know, Milan's going to take Bordeaux, and Spain's going to take Lisbon, so that's what's keeping them alive. Maybe they might be able to expand over here and use Spain's help, but I doubt it. I think Portugal, they had a good run at the start, but I think they're done now. I think that's the end of the Portuguese. Yeah, the Spanish have gone to war with Milan, and they're probably going to take Zaragoza from them. But, you know, will this be enough? I think, you know, it's not going to be enough to bring back Portugal. It might strengthen Spain. It might weaken Milan a bit in Iberia, but, you know, Milan, they're still going to take Bordeaux, so it's not going to really affect them too much, I don't think. And then they'll probably be able to reclaim this. Looking at how Milan are playing, they're just going to be able to walk through these if they go for them. Russia looking very good right now. They managed to retake that rebel settlement. They're pushing further south. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where their empire goes. And the Danish have taken Frankfurt, cutting the HRE down to the final 4 settlements, or possibly 3 soon, because this Staufen here, this is probably going to fall. The Pope didn't quite like the Sicilians. He just took Naples and, yeah, burnt the settlement down. So yeah, that's all of a sudden a massive loss for Sicily. You know, they were doing okay. You know, they had Valencia, parts of Africa, but you know, recently they've lost a couple of settlements. They lost Tunis, and now they've lost Naples. Not looking good for them. The Mongols have now taken Gaza, and they're probably going to expand into Egypt soon, I'm guessing. Or maybe they'll go north. It looks like they're going north for now. Yeah, the Europeans and their crusade, it just wasn't enough. Maybe the Russians might get involved with the Mongols. Russia, at this point, you don't want to just go back, defend the mountains, and you're not interested in what's going on down here. First the Mongols, and then the Timurids. You're not interested, just go back home. You don't want to get involved. Well done to Hungary for continuing their expansion into Turkey. Looks like they're still willing to go further as well. They're probably wanting these settlements as well, but I think the Mongols are going to take these before the Hungarians can get here. Unless they can then reclaim them from the Mongols, or maybe the Mongols will just walk through them. I don't know. Who knows? Ooh, interesting. So first of all, the Spanish have declared war on the Moors. They're going to take Cordoba, and they've definitely got the troops to take Granada if they go for it. So yeah, if Spain takes these two, they're going to start looking good. And also, the Turks became a vassal of Hungary, which I did not expect, but after losing that territory to the Mongols, two territories in one turn, I think it was. You know, the Turks, completely different empire. But to be honest, they probably should have signed the vassal with the Mongols, because they've done a take this settlement here and this one up here as well. Unless the Russians have something to say about it, but yeah, the Turks could quite easily be knocked down to their final settlement next turn, possibly. Wow. Yay, the English retook York. Well done, England. Well done. The English are on a roll. They've all of a sudden taken Ireland as well. They might have the troops to push up for the Scottish. This army here is going to be quite worrying for them, but they could do it. Inverness is not looking good. And the Scottish, they've given up, they're retreating, they're sailing to the North Pole, and we're just going to live there instead. The Moors became a vassal for Spain. Why Spain? Why? You could have taken both of these settlements easily, but no, you decided to vassalize them. Well, I guess in a way, Spain right now, let me just find them. Oh, where are the stupid Spain? Here they are. They have the Moors and the Portuguese as vassals. They own all of Iberia, technically, in a way. Well, okay, they still don't have Valencia, but, you know, apart from that one settlement there, they have all of this under their control. And it counts in the scores at the end as well, which is interesting to note. So, yeah, they do control it right now, although it would have been better if they did take the settlements and actually held it, but still, you know, this is close enough. And the Turks, yep, as I said, down to a final settlement. And it seems like, I don't know, are the Hungarians going to try and avenge them? Yes, they are at war with the Mongols. I don't think this army is going to be enough, they're going to need more troops, but they could definitely cause damage onto the Mongols. And I don't know what happened here. I'm guessing the Mongols lost. Let me just quickly check this. Yes, so the Mongols lost, the siege of this castle here, and then the Russians stepped in and took it. So Russia expanding further south, they now border the Mongols. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Will war be declared? If it is, then the Mongols will be fighting a war on 3 different fronts, which will be a bit of a struggle for them, I think. Or maybe not with their troops, but maybe will be. I don't know. Denmark have cut into the HRE and built quite a mighty empire of their own, stretching from Brussels, Staufen, Nuremberg, Stettin, and of course Scandinavia. Yeah, that's quite a good empire for them there. And it looks like they are interested in the English. And of course the Polish just this turn took Innsbruck from the HRE. So the HRE are now down to the final settlement, Bologna. I don't think a faction has been destroyed yet. No, so there's 2 factions right now, the Turks and the HRE, that are down to their final settlement. Which is going to die first? And somehow I've just realised, of course I'm gonna miss stuff throughout, that's just how this always happens. The Pope took Cornif. Yeah, the Pope took Cornif. Did not expect that at all, but yeah, somehow we managed it. Hopefully we're not going to see some crazy OP Pope like we have seen before. That would be annoying, but yeah, Pope took Cornif. Weird, never seen him go down this way before. Seems like the Polish are interested in Milan, well, Genoa, and the Spanish are interested in Corsica. Interesting. Oh wait, that means Spain and Sicily are at war, which means they could take Valencia if they wanted to. There's no garrison here. They could do it. Now, I know the Turks, they're not looking good, but can everybody give a round of applause for the Turks for actually building a strategically well placed fort right here in the mountains? And the Mongols can still make it through this route here, but still, got to admit, that is a good placement by the AI. And a Hungarian army right next to it as well to back it up. They're not breaking through this route. Of course they can just walk around it at basically the same speed, but still, well done to the AI for at least, no, it's a good placement, not perfect, but it's quite good. And the Danish have declared war on the English and they've put York under siege. England, after their war with Scotland, they don't have too many armies around, so I think Denmark has the potential here to take York. And just as England was getting things under control as well, just as they'd retaken York for themselves, taken Ireland, were making a move onto Scotland to wipe them out, the Danish land, and try and take York. Stupid, horrible Danish. The Russians have gone to war with the Mongols, Milan at war with Spain, and a few other stuff. But what's important here is that Denmark, they took York and they've got quite a large army nearby. The British Isles all of a sudden, it's a completely different place, now that other factions are getting involved. Is Spain gonna get here as well? But nah, not with 1 unit. They might land, but they're not gonna really take any land. England, that's a massive loss for them. That's a massive loss. It's cut them off from Scotland as well. The Scottish have enough troops to move down here and take Ireland. It's not looking good for the English. Or really even the Scottish. That's, you know, they're more likely to win a 1 versus 1 versus England than if Denmark were to get involved. Now that was weird. First of all, I was a bit unsure about Russia going to war with the Mongols. I thought Russia would have struggled, but they've taken Trebizond, which is a good move for them. They've still got a lot of troops nearby, but the weird thing is that as soon as they did that, they did not join with Hungary to fight a common enemy in the Mongols. They went to war with Hungary, and on the same turn of like uncertainty whether they'll be able to win, the Polish declare war on the Russians. So yeah, that was a big step back from them. Kiev is under siege by the Polish, and Russia has no troops over here. So we're either going to see Russia like organise themselves over here, take some Polish territory, you know, unify like modern Russia, or more like the Soviet Union if you take Vilnius and these settlements as well, but still. And you know, they could take more land from the from the Mongols and the Hungarians as well, possibly. That's if everything goes their way. If not, then, you know, they're going to lose all this. They're going to lose everything, basically, if it doesn't go well. Everywhere is under attack. They haven't even taken Helsinki yet. A new crusade has been called for Cairo. Venice is very close to it, so they could step in about one turn. Russia's realised, oh poo, they've made a mistake, so they immediately signed a truce with the Hungarians, which made sense. Yeah, they kind of needed that. But Riga and Kiev both under siege by the Polish, and they've got the Mongols to deal with as well. Yeah, but it's going to be interesting to see this crusade. And we're going to see another colonial power rise in Egypt, like what the Venetians tried, but sadly for Venice it failed. And how will they respond to the Mongols? Will the Mongols take it first, and will it become another crusade against the Mongols? Who knows? And so it begins, just like that. In a few turns, Russia just collapses. The Polish have taken Novgorod. The Russians won at Riga, but you know, the Polish have got it surrounded now. They're going to push in and take it in a few turns. And they lost Kiev as well. And it seems, by the looks of these Polish armies, they're still going into Russia. Moscow and Ryazan completely undefended. All the troops are down here. And, you know, as soon as I bring these troops north, the Mongols are just going to take these settlements. So Russia, they can only fight on one front right now. The other front has to be abandoned. They have to decide between Sarkel, Trebizond and Tbilisi, however you pronounce it, or Moscow and Novgorod. I'd personally bring my troops up north and just give up on the Mongols, but, you know, who knows, the AI might have different plans. It is AI after all, it's not the smartest thing in the world. Well, Medieval 2 Total War AI. Hungary has responded to the crisis in Russia. They don't want the Polish to get too powerful, so they immediately go to war with the Polish and push on Ayazi, and they're probably going to take some more settlements as well if they can get the troops over here. You know, they could take Vienna, Krakow, some of these settlements as well, which I'll never be able to pronounce. Yeah, Hungary has a lot of potential here, and if the Russians and Hungarians can work together well, they could be able to push the Polish back. All they need now is Denmark to go to war with them, and then that would be a big problem for the Polish. I think Poland right now is the largest faction. I'll check stats at the end of part 5. But yeah, if they go on a war on 3 different fronts, they're not going to do well. Oh, from out of nowhere, the first faction to get destroyed is the Scottish. They got hit by the regicide, which was sad to see. I'm guessing what happened was the Black Death killed a few of their generals, and maybe they might have had 1 or 2 generals left, went into battle with the English or the Danish, lost them both, and then that's just regicide right there. They're gone. So yeah, Scotland, out of all factions, first to die. I thought we were doing a bit of Turks, looking at it, but maybe even the HME, but, you know, it was Scotland. And it wasn't even by the English. It was to regicide. Or maybe the English were greatly involved, I don't know, but... wow. The Hungarians have successfully taken Cairo on their crusade. That could cause a problem between these two powers. Not only are they neighbouring in Egypt, but they're neighbours up here as well. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the relationship between those two. Hungary and Venice. They're allies right now, but how long will that last? They both have very similar interests. The Polish, of course, lost this settlement here to Hungary, and the Timurids have arrived. Not going to talk about them too much this episode, but for the next one they'll definitely be a major part. And here we are at the end of part 4. Hope you enjoyed this video. Some big things that happened. The Mongols expanded very quickly, but you know, now that the Timurids are here, I think they're going to collapse very quickly. But the Mongols are going to collapse as fast as they will fall. That's how I see this going. The Hungarians have risen as well, but they're going to struggle, I think, now. All their borders are bordering major factions, apart from the Turks. So yeah, they're definitely done a struggle, and I love how Hungary is using the Turks as a buffer state against the Mongols. Like, I like that. I like the idea they're going for that. Even though it's AI, they don't know what they're actually doing, but yeah, I like it. Of course, the Pope is going to be an interesting faction in the Papal States. He has expanded quite a bit. If he continues to, that's going to be an interesting faction going into the next episode. Spain now control all of Iberia. They have the Moors and the Portuguese as vassals, so if they can keep hold of them, then they're going to control all this land here. Or maybe war will break down and, I don't know, the Portuguese will rise up and take it. The British Isles is also something you're going to want to pay attention to in the next episode. How will the Danish and the English react? Who's going to take these rebel settlements? A lot's going to happen here. And finally, Denmark have taken these 2 settlements from the English. So yeah, Denmark is a superpower that you're going to want to watch in the next episode. Same with the Polish a bit as well, but I think the Polish, they're at risk of collapsing. If the Russians make a push on them, if the Hungarians keep pushing on them, and then if the Danish go for them as well, which I think they could, then bye-bye for Poland. They're powerful right now, but they've got so many big major enemies on their borders, it could just collapse. Whereas with Denmark, the English, they're not going to cause the Danish to collapse. The Polish, they've got no troops on this border, so they're safe on this side. Maybe Milan might cause some difficulties from taking some northern French settlements, but that's not a collapse, that's just a few settlements lost, and I'm sure Denmark can pull the resources together to take down Milan. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed this episode, hope to see you in the next one, part 5. We are over halfway through the series now, 3 more episodes left, 4 done. Hope to see you in the rest of the series and all my other videos. Goodbye.